When you try to solve a system of equations using elimination, the idea is to eliminate one of your variables. If we look at this problem, in order to use elimination, we need to have one variable that has the exact same coefficient, and in addition to that, one of those variables needs to be positive and the other needs to be negative. What's going to happen when we use elimination is we're going to take these two variables, these two equations, and we're going to combine them together. And the idea is when we combine them together using our integer rules, that one of our variables will cancel out. In this case, we'll have negative 2x plus 2x, which when we add those together gives me 0x, which cancels out. Then I have 5y minus 7y, which gives me negative 2y, and 12 minus 8 gives me 4. From here, I'm going to solve this equation the way I would any other. Divide both sides by negative 2, and I get y equals negative 2. Now remember, we're only halfway done. Just like substitution, we found one of our variables. We need to go ahead and find the other variable. The way we do that is we pick one of our original equations. It does not matter which equation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my original equation and then take this value that I found for y and plug it in. So I get 2x minus 7 times negative 2 equals negative 8. When I multiply this out, negative 7 times negative 2 is going to give me positive 14 equals negative 8. And then now I need to move this 14 to the other side because I want to isolate my variable, get it all by itself. So I get 2x equals negative 22. And then I'm going to finish off this problem by dividing both sides by 2. And I find out that x equals negative 11. So now I know that my value for x is negative 11, my value for y is negative 2, and that means that this system of equations has one solution, and that solution is at negative 11, negative 2. Now remember, the idea behind elimination is to get rid of one of your variables. And we said that to do that, you have to have a variable that has the same coefficient. One is positive, one is negative. If I look at this problem, I see that I have the same coefficient here, but both of them are positive. Let me show you why this is a problem. If I go to combine these two equations together the way they're written, I get 5x plus 9x equals 14x. 2y plus 2y gives me 4y. And 22 plus 6 gives me 28. When I've combined those together, nothing eliminated. Okay? The whole idea is to get rid of one of our variables. So what we need to do is make sure that not only do we have the same coefficients, but we also need one of them to be positive and one to be negative. And the way we do that is multiplying by negative 1. Remember, you can change the sign of a number by multiplying it by negative 1. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to change a whole equation. One of my equations stays exactly the way it's written. Okay? So this top equation up here, this red one, I'm just going to rewrite it the way it was. But the second equation that I have, or one of my equations, I now need to change the sign of this coefficient. Okay? I don't want it to be positive 2 anymore. I need it to be negative 2. So I'm going to multiply everything in this equation by negative 1. So that's going to give me negative 9x, negative 2y, and negative 6. Now when I combine these equations together, I can see that my 2y minus 2y is going to cancel out and give me 0. And I'm left with, not negative there. I'm left with negative 4x equals 16. So time to finish off this equation, divide both sides by negative 4, and I get x equals negative 4. Now, again, I'm only halfway there. We have to find our y value. And to find y, I go back to one of my original equations, doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to take this value for x and plug it in and then solve. So I have 5 times negative 4 plus 2y equals 22. Then I'm going to multiply this out. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20 plus 2y equals 22. I want to isolate those y's now. So I need to move this 20 to the other side. And I'm going to add 20 to both sides. That's going to give me 2y equals 42. And then to finish off this problem, divide everything by 2. And I'm going to see that I get y equals 21. So now I've created the ordered pair that's the solution to the system of equations. It has an x value of -4 and a y value of 21.